I know you don't like to use bulk links any longer for first or second tier links, but you mentioned that a Google site takes longer to rank than a Blogger site with a link blast. Not always. It's Google sites are finicky, Gordon. I think this discussion we had last week too, not you, but from another, somebody else last week, I think was talking about this. I think it was last week, but specifically about Gsites. They're weird. Sometimes they'll rank with no backlinks at all. Sometimes no matter what you do, you can't get them to rank or even index. So Google sites are just freaking weird. They're an important part still of what I do because it's a Google property. There's no reason why you shouldn't use it. But sometimes we have Google sites that rank with 0 backlinks, no problem at all. Other times, no matter what we do, we can't get them to even index. So it's just one of them things. It's standard operating procedure to include a Gsite in everything that I do, period. Sometimes they perform incredibly well, sometimes not at all. So when they do perform, utilize it, take advantage of it, exploit that. When they don't perform, use other assets instead, right? You can usually tell that fairly quickly too, whether they're going to work or not. Just by indexing. If they're slow to index, they typically will not perform very well, even if they finally do index. That's just kind of my experience. That's not, again, it's not a hard and fast rule. It's just kind of what I've experienced. Okay. So if you blast a Google site with links, will it just rank faster as fat? Will it with links? Will it rank just as fast as a Blogger site? And is either one better than the other to use a rank and rent site, and why? Your help is greatly appreciated as always. Well, yeah, Gsite's better to use as a rank and rent site because it's more versatile. You can, with the new Gsite builders, I say new, it's not new anymore. It's just the Gsite builder, not classic sites is what I'm saying. But with the new, I mean, you can make them look really good. I've seen some Gsites that look incredibly well. So that's what I would rather do if I was going to use a rank and rent site only on a external platform. So not a self-hosted site. Gsite would be my preferred over that. But remember, there's other ones that you can use as well over Blogger. By the way, Blogger was just an example because I know that I've spammed bloggers to the top of the search results fairly quickly. But there's some other site builders that I would, if I was going to just be building rank and rent sites on Web 2s or external platforms, there's some other ones that I would prefer over Blogger for that, right? Which would be like maybe Weebly. Weebly's a good one too. But here's my point. Why just use those types though? Like, why not use those as supporting assets for a self-hosted website? Like, I don't understand why go out of your way not to just use a self-hosted site. Like, in my opinion, you're better off using a self-hosted site and then using all those Web 2 assets as supporting assets, right? So that you can end up ranking more than just, just those Web 2 assets. You can rank the money site plus the Web 2 assets. And you can use the Web 2 assets to support the money site, right? That's what I prefer. That's what I do all of my own stuff that way. So yeah, I mean, again, I don't like to just use Web 2 properties. I know I've talked about potentially doing that, but I don't like to do it. I have much more control over my own website, and then I can support that with Web 2 assets. Okay. And I mean, I've had some crazy good results lately with some of the kind of local page stuff that I'm doing. And again, some of you have been following or at least seen some of the stuff that I've been doing on Twitch. And that's all I've spent like the last 3 months doing is literally testing different kind of configurations and local pages and different site structures, URL configurations and everything else. And I found a couple that work really well consistently. And so now I'm going to pull that back in and tie that into the directory site, as I mentioned at the top of this webinar or today's Hump Day Hangout, so that again, it's all about building authority to the directory brand, which is the agency brand. And it can be a lead gen brand. It can be, so the point that I'm trying to make is it becomes like really the point of origin for all of your agency and lead gen activities. And look, some of you don't want to do agency work. You just want to do lead gen or vice versa. You can do all of that with the directory. You can do one or the other or both. You understand? You can do either strictly agency work and use the directory as your prospecting and sales machine, which is what I originally started out using it for, or you can use the directory to prospect, to find lead or service providers, lead buyers, or you can do a hybrid of both, which is what I recommend, right? So there's no reason why you guys should not be doing that. I mean, and it's not just because I'm trying to get you guys to join the mastermind. That's part of it. But I mean it with all sincerity that, like, seriously, the directory part process has been the most successful thing that I've ever implemented into my local SEO agency. Period. Hands down. Like, the full stop is not even close. I've been able to get more success with that directory process for my local SEO agency than any other method I've ever tried in over a decade now of doing this. You understand? So that's why I'm saying it's super, super effective when done properly. And now that I'm tying in the rank and rent model stuff back into the directory, it's going to significantly change. It's going to be so much even stronger, even better. Okay. And I'm going to demonstrate all of this live on Twitch in the mornings. No shit. I was talking about it this morning that I've got my local.treecarehq.com site, which is the site that I started to build 2 years ago for lead gen assets on the directory, but I kind of abandoned it while I worked on other things. Now that I've spent 3 months figuring out the best kind of local site structure, now I have it. I've determined what works best, what performs consistently well across multiple projects. So now I'm going to restructure that local Tree Care HQ site specifically with that structure and start building all of my subsequent lead gen assets. And I just picked up another one today. Well, on Monday, I closed another tree contractor for 3 locations, 2 existing locations that I had and one that I've got to build. And I just started working on that today. So the point that I'm trying to make is, like, the whole directory thing now is really going to start to explode based on, the developments that I've spent the last several months kind of trying to figure out. So anyway, I bring that back because, again, think about this. You could use the directory as your lead gen, as your primary lead gen asset with one brand, right? You can build one brand around that, guys. And then it's so much easier because now you've got everything, all your messaging, everything is all tied in around one brand, and you can significantly scale that. There's several different things that you can do with it. So again, all of that's going to be demonstrated live on the Twitch channel while I kind of clean all this stuff up and organize everything and put it in the SOP format. The SOPs will only be available in the mastermind, but the sausage will be made via Twitch because I don't have the time during the day to do it. So I'm going to have to utilize that hour and a half every morning to try to reorganize all this stuff. Hopefully that's clear.